Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morganti. This week, we've got an interview with Paul Preusker, who obviously has got the second favourite for the Melbourne Cup in Surprise Baby, and I think it's one of the better interviews, Peter. He's quite laid back, but I'll tell you what, he knows a lot about his horses, and I think if you watch that interview, you can't help but admire him, just the way he goes about it.
Yeah, no, I agree, Darren. I think a lot of the trainers have got a book they all read from, but I'm pretty sure Paul picked his book off a different shelf, and it's just based on his eyes, his own feel with a horse. He's grown up with animals from day one. I think it's a bit of commentary around. He basically grew up on a farm or a zoo, as they put it. He's got an innate ability with horses, and it's bearing fruit now, and it may bear fruit in about 5 weeks' time in a big way.
I'm sure he's in for a very, very big spring, so looking forward to seeing what happens there. All right, mate, let's roll back through last week's runners. Where do we start?
Yeah, we go back to last Saturday, Caulfield Guineas Day. We had Capriccio throw out the stumps. Look, she's a talented filly. She sat outside the leader. She finished 7th, but look, going forward, I think it was a neat enough run. She jarred up a little, and she's now out in the paddock.
Yeah, she's out of our good mare, Long Espresso, that got better as she got older, and I think this filly's a bit the same. She'll develop as she matures, and I think Daniel's done the right thing to put her out and give her the rest of the year off, and her time will be in the autumn when there's a bit of give in the ground. And you know, she won a maiden, and she had to go at the Thoroughbred breeders, and just got found wanting a little bit, but you know, I think she's going to have a good autumn.
Yeah, 6 links from the winner. She certainly wasn't disgraced, and yeah, maturity and autumn, away we go, hopefully. Monday, we had a winner. What a great result this was, with Amazing Motion, first up over a mile. Reunited with Jordan Charles after about 18 months. Just a great training effort by Pat Ryan.
Yeah, well, look, Amazing Motion was on the scrap heap, literally. Came back, and you know, the owners had the option to try down the beach or to retire and move her on. And I always had a little feeling that just given what I know about the family, and the mother was pretty much similar, that she took a long time to get going, that we decided to try her at the beach. And all credit to the owners for backing us and having a crack. And look, Pat Ryan's done a great job with these horses we've given him. They're either second-hand horses, or there's a couple there that might even be third-hand. So, you know, he's got Amazing Motion to win first up. Probably got her looking as good as she's ever looked. Yeah, she was faultless in the run, and she got there just in probably the last 2 strides. But one would think she's got a lot of improvement, and, you know, she's going to pay away. Well, she's pretty much paid for this prep already off 1 win. So I know that the owners were delighted, and you know, we own the mare, so the mare's 2 for 2 now. So it's just a good story all round.
Absolutely, and I think Pat, well aware that, you know, it's her first run for a while, so it's going to give her 3 weeks between now and the next run, but already got earmarked a potential race. I think it was Geelong, Warrnambool, and there's even a fillies and mares at Moonee Valley. So yeah, great job done, and she holds together. You know, more wins in store. Wednesday, Gamay at Caulfield. Look, I missed the race. You've seen it. I watched the replay. It was a messy old race where the leader was allowed to, Colin Littles was allowed to get a mile in front, and the second horse sort of wasn't taking the rest of the field anywhere. And she was out the back from the bad barrier, and it was almost impossible to make any real ground. She made a little, probably felt the ground. I think the vet said she was lame, but Archie was saying that she's pretty good this morning. So just one of those races.
Yeah, yeah. Colin Little's horse got 10 lengths in front, and I don't know what the rest were doing, but they sat there and then left with too much to do late, really. But all credit to, I think it might have been Jordan Charles who rode that winner.
Yeah,
actually.
It was, yeah.
No, all credit to him. He just pulled their pants down in the run, and everyone was back and left with too much to do. I think she finished off 6th or 7th there, probably beaten 6 lengths. She was second favourite. We thought she'd be in the money, and she wasn't in the money. So she's jarred up or pulled up a bit sore. So she's going to have some time between runs. The plan's been revised down from a crack at the Group 1 matriarch back to a Group 3 at Sandown at the back half of the spring. So, one run can really change your direction pretty quick here. But look, she's a Group 3 winner already. Her future's assured at stud somewhere. So we've just got to maximise our opportunities before she gets moved on to the breeding barn.
Same day, different venue, way out west at Hamilton. Matthew Williams was able to gain. He didn't gain the run. It was a scratching. It allowed us to run in one of those country series heats with My Shiny Choice, and he ran a fantastic second. But there was various times in the last 400 metres where you didn't know whether he was going to run 8th or win or run 3rd or 4th. But just a good effort again.
Yeah, well, he was first emergency and he got a run, but only through a scratching of another horse. I noticed, Matty, had another runner in that race, and I was about to ring him up and say, if you want to ever train again for us, you better scratch that other nag out of the road. But thankfully, I didn't have to. What a mighty run. When you watch the race, he's up there, which I thought was a positive, good thing. Credit to Dylan Dunn, rode him a treat. And then on the corner, I thought, here we go. Back to, we're going to drop out here or run midfield. And then started to come again, and he was right in the race. So I think everyone was out of their seat. And I had some texts from some of the owners said they lost their voice, and the neighbours had probably called the cops. But it was a great thrill, and running second there assures him a start in a $500,000 race on I think it's Oaks Day, isn't
it? Yeah, yep.
The country challenge. So
yep.
It gets him into that race. It's a mile race. Is he a miler? I don't know. The way he ran that 1400 the other day and he hit a flat spot and finished off again, and maybe he's a miler now. I don't know. But it's not very often you get a chance to run a 65 rated horse in a $500,000 race at Flemington on Oaks Day. So I think we'll take that. And credit to Matthew Williams. He's done a great job since getting this horse, and full credit to Dylan Dunn. And the owners of, I think these owners, most of them were in Uxorius, or half of them anyway. So it's been a great family for him. And, he's an 8-year-old and he's probably in career best form.
Absolutely. He's a 8-year-old spring chicken. And it's one of the better initiatives that's been put on over the last, I don't know how many years, but only in recent times, where, your 64 or 5 class galloper, or even 70 class gallopers actually get a chance to compete in big money races, because otherwise you're running around for 25 or 30,000 all the time, and it's hard to actually just keep your horses in work, because the cost can override the ability to win money. But it's a throw at the stumps. He's earned it, and they're going to have a runner on Oaks Day. So who would have thought 2 years ago, when he was first transferred to Matthew, that we'd be saying he's going to run in a $500,000 race? So plenty of excitement. If they were yelling yesterday, they might be yelling at Thursday month's time. Well,
I think we got 18,000 for running second. I think it was a $100,000 race. So, there was the winner was Buzzwater Young's horse. Like, they took it from Cranbourne to Hamilton to get the win, and I think I might have won that race last year. So, they were probably the better grade 70 horses going around. I wouldn't say they were your typical Hamilton Sunday horses. I'd say they're a notch up, eh?
Yeah, and Blinder, the winner, he did win that race last year and went on to run 3rd in the final, which was won by, I think, a Ural Star Missile, and Harbour Views ran 2nd. So, you never say never.
Some race.
Yeah, and My Shiny Choice was obviously meant to run today, and all he could have got out of today by winning was an extra $1,000 and 4 ratings points, and probably would have had to wait 2 races to win another one. So, good throw at the stumps by Matthew Williams.
As one of the owners said, Pete, can you please explain why he scratched him today? Why didn't he back up?
Could have just backed him up today and gave him 4 weeks off. Um, Speaking of Warrnambool trainers and Warrnambool venues, and a chap we spoke about earlier in Pat Ryan, he nearly bought off well, you would have got big odds about this double a month ago. If Periscope had won today, he hasn't been beaten far, but he ran a really good second to show that he's well and truly on track.
Yeah, well, he's a horse that he's on his third trainer. He's famous, this horse. For running second to Vow and Declare in a maiden, and Vow and Declare going on and win a Melbourne Cup, and we're still trying to win a maiden. Two trainers later, but he's had a lot of issues, this horse, and just had a lot of issues, and he's just pretty much had a year off, and we sent him down to Pat Ryan once again to see if he could keep the horse sound down on the beach. And look, he's done a remarkable job with this horse. There's no question the horse has got talent. We've known that the whole way through, or he would have been in Pony Club long ago. But sometimes they just need time, and being the breeding he is by Raise the Flag, same size as Yogi, they tend to come good later in life. I think when they're 8, it's like a normal horse being 3. So he's finally matured, and maybe, he's going to have a good prep. But no, that was a terrific run today. There was a horse in there of Mick Price at $1.30, which I think everyone just expected would win by panels. And that horse finished, I think, 3rd. So Pat Ryan's brother Simon actually won the race. So there was a bit of banter in the Manning Yard afterwards. And pleased to say that John Clements went through the process of registering, and he got to the Warrnambool track today, and he was telling me he was up in that new facility that they've built there, which he reckons gold. And funnily enough, Pete, he was the only owner there for that race out of the entire field. So there was not one other owner there. He was the only one in the room with a couple of committee people. And he was allowed in 10 minutes before the jump and asked to leave 10 minutes after the race had finished. So, but he was delighted to have been there and witnessed that, and got to talk to Pat through the fence at some distance. And yeah, he's full of praise for Pat, and he said he's never seen the horse look better.
I reckon at some stage Clemo would have been providing all the noise in that area, because I reckon at the 100 and probably 200 out, he looked the winner, and you just knew the other thing was probably going to grab him late. But that was only because it was second up over 2,400 after about 9 months or 12 months off. So yeah, no, good on you, John. I think the next time you go there, if it is at Warrnambool, you might be cheering home a winner. That's it, Darren. So they're good results, apart from, well, I suppose, the 2 horses in the hardest races, Gamay and Capriccio, didn't work out there, but the other 3 all ran well for a couple of seconds.
Yep.
Moving on, runners coming up tomorrow. Connery, 1,600 metre benchmark 78 at Maui, Canberra-Willa riding. There's a short one of, I think, prices. They've got some horses everywhere around about, so we come up against it, but it's a slow 6 or 5 or 6. There's only about 8 in it. It looks a weak race. He's $7. I thought he'd be a $3 chance in this. No, actually, I think there's only 7 runners. $3 fixed the place. You nearly take for him to run 1-2.
Well, there's a scratching already. Ruby Sky's out, so it's down to a field of 6.
Right.
Obviously, you've taken the $7 because it's into $6.50, and there you go. So $6.50 in the race. Maui, it's a tight little track. I was glad to see that rider go on, Canberra-Willa. I think he's quite a good rider. I don't know if it's a claiming or non-claiming event, but the horse gets a chance here. He's been a hard horse to place, and hard horse. He's had his share of foot abscesses and all sorts of things. He's a good, honest, tough little horse. When he gets to the races, he actually does his best and runs well. But in between, he gives Archie a few headaches, soundness-wise. But just nothing major, just little stuff. But look, he's got to go there in a field of 6 or 7. Gee, he's going to be, he's going to be in the top 3. I would have thought.
Yeah, well, you'd be hoping he's not far away from winning. It's a long way back on some of the races he's contested over the past 6 months. So you'd be hoping that all things equal, he's right in the finish. Saturday we go to Morphettville. Well, speaking about a horse that's come back way in class, is Collectible. She's at a benchmark 58 at Morphettville. Drawn gate 1, Todd Panelon. I had a quick look through. She's $3.80. Her best form, she should be $1.80. But it's been a long time since Collectibles won, which is probably why you're getting $3.80. She's ran in 70s and 64s and 70s and now back to a 58 and only carrying 59.
Well, yeah, it's a 0 to 58 in town. So if she wins that, she's a Metro winner. So that's the strategy. But like you say, a 58 in town, it's unheard of over here. But talking to Robbie Griffiths earlier, he can't fault her. So she's way down in class. No suitable races here for her. So she goes to Morphettville. It's on the proper track, the outside track, the big track. So she'll get every chance. She's raced there before, I think. Yeah, she raced in the Oaks.
Oaks, yeah. Yep.
She's been to Adelaide. She gets Todd Panel. He's a good rider. She's favourite. She should be favourite. Very hard to go over there and win. A lot of horses don't win from Victoria when they go there. It's very hard. But look, she gets a chance to get back into the winner's circle. The plan with her is to go to the English Bracelet on Oaks Day, which is a race restricted to fillies and mares that came out of the English sale that were paid up for the series. So it's a $250,000 race. So we needed a race in between, and this is the best available. So if we can tick off that city winning box here, and then she can give a good account of herself at Flemington, that's probably almost the end of her career, but she's got a couple of throws at the stumps.
Yep, the big field is 16. The only little worry, that gate 1 is where she gets to, but geez, even luck, you'd want to see her nearly winning or going very close, and the market says that. So fingers crossed with Collectible. The only other one, Darren, we just spoke about it was Moneybags. Will go around at Geelong in a 1,500 metre benchmark 78. Obviously, we haven't got the fields yet, but that's one of those country series races that aims at that. Well, aiming at the race that My Shiny Choice has already got a free ticket into.
Yeah, so he goes around at Geelong on Wednesday. That's Cup Day. At the stage, we're not sure who's going to be riding him, or I don't even know if he's going to make the field. I suppose he will, but it's a $100,000 race into that same race. And, you know, he's had a couple of runs in now, so it's time for him to stand up and show us that he's back and that he still, 1, can do it, and 2, wants to do it. So we'll know more as we get closer to it. But I imagine he's going to be a $10 chance. He's going to be an each-way chance, and he's probably a top 4 show.
Yeah, 79 rider in the 78, I think 60.5 kilos. I know there'll be a lot of horses above the benchmark, but being Cup Day, they can be strong, but he should make the field. And, you know, out to the 1,500, and hopefully a little bit of give in the track, but yeah, he's probably got to stand up.
Yep, exactly.
That's it. All I know. Probably the next lot of runners.
They're the 3 we got.
Yeah, just looking forward a little bit. Madam Mischief and Street Baby probably going to be running sometime the next week or 10 days. And look, there's a plethora of horses there that are trialling. They're all at different stages in the trials, but there's anywhere up to a dozen of those, and we'll probably speak about those in the next 2 to 3 weeks when they get closer to race day. Yes.
All right.
Tipping comp.
Tipping.
Yes. There's 8 smart Alex that have tipped 3 winners in our first 3 weeks. I've mentioned some. One is called Ken Smart, Eddie Cook, Louise and Simon Vaughan. They just can't decide not to be different, so they just tip the same each week. Mark Howley, the Queensland version of Michael Byrne, Richard Wilson, and I can't believe Owen Kelly's been sober enough 3 weeks in a row to find the winner.
Oh.
How you going, Owen?
Poor Owen Kelly lives in Shepparton, and they're all in lockdown now.
He must be a good dartboard thrower, dart thrower. So 8 out of 130, which is back to probably about 110 now. There's about 20 dropped out.
I see Mark Howley. Didn't he win the last comp? He must be a pretty good tipster.
I think we've said it, David Eustace's weekly tip. We need Mark Howley up.
Yeah, we might have to contact him, see if we can get his best for the week, see how good he is under pressure.
No, then he'll melt. He'll melt down then.
we destroy them all.
Yeah. So this week.
So what's the race? Obviously the Caulfield Cup.
Caulfield Cup. That's going to test them.
Wow.
And look, to be fair, the first three winners have mostly been the favourites. They have been Ole Kirk, Very Elegant, and Russian Camelot. You'd be brave to take that the European horse. What's its name? Van Dyke.
Very 21.
Yeah. If it can win from there, it's a good horse. And there's no saying. I'm not saying it can't, but 21 around Caulfield, good luck. We had a horse that ran from 19 around Caulfield and probably should have won it, called Dandino, but yeah, tough race.
Yeah. Well, personally, I'm flying, Pete. I've got 1 out of 3. I got Russian Camelot the first week, which was a free kick. Second week, I tossed up between Very Elegant and Surprise Baby. And I thought, well, I'll go Surprise Baby because we got horses with Paul.
Yep.
And then last week, I tossed up between LA Kirk and Tagaloa. And obviously, Tagaloa went a miss and LA Kirk won. So twice I've left the Sydney Siders out, and both times they've got up.
Yeah.
So now we go to the Caulfield. It really gets tough now. Like I'm probably, if you don't like the favourite, geez, it's a tough race. So I'm probably a bit of a toffee tongue fan.
Right.
Only because I almost bought the mother, and the bloke said, "Oh, wait till Monday," and then Toffee Tongue won the Oaks, so that was out of the question. But,
that was it.
It's it's probably the one. I don't mind the 4-year-olds. I don't mind the 4-year-old mares in the Caulfield Cup. It's been a good formula over the years, whether it holds true now with the internationals, but it's hard to know the form. But gee, Anthony Van Dyke out in 20, whatever it's going to come out of 19, and I know it likes the wet, and it's probably a class horse, but gee, it's hard to pick him when you haven't seen him.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm coming back to one I know, but no confidence, and I tipped it in the Turnbull as Master of Wine. And
I wonder whether in this week's tipping with 110 players we'll actually get every horse tipped in the field. I wonder if there'll be actually a horse that's not tipped.
What do we got in the field? 20.
Who's the roughest?
18. Roughest. So we've got potentially 20. How many emergencies is there? 3. So there's going to be a field of 19. The roughest horse, 101 Ocean X, which is Raheen House is 200 to 1. Ocean X is third emergency, so it might get a run. The Chosen one, $70. Mustajeer, $70. Vow and Declare, 34. Did he run 4th or 5th in this last year, or 3rd? He might have ran in a Vow and Declare.
Yeah, he ran well. I just think this year that a lot of them are going to get tipped.
I missed that, sorry.
I think a lot of them there'll be tips for nearly every horse.
Oh, yeah. Prince
I
Aaron.
reckon 15 of the horses are going to get tipped.
Yep. No, I agree. Big players, the big multi-players get involved in the first 4s and trifectas, and generally a big result somewhere along the line. Just think back to My Shiny Choice. He paid about $11 a place yesterday.
$11 a place.
Yeah, one out of my owners got that. Not me.
Well, the pre-race from Matthew, what did the pre-race from Matthew Wim say he'd run top 4?
Yeah, he was confident he'd run top 4. He said, a little bit of luck, we can snare the free ticket in. So he's a trainer on the game at the moment.
And we might just talk about that little promo we sent out today, Pete, with Matty Williams. He's got a written Tycoon filly there that he bought. Well, I don't know where he bought it. Where did he buy it?
No,
Gold Coast or Melbourne? Don't know. But
Melbourne, I think, because it's all Vobis.
Yeah, so he's got a very nice written Tycoon filly there that He hasn't sold. It's a 2-year-old. He's been raving on about it for about 3 months, telling me that I should be in it, and it's a quality horse, and he really likes it, and he's going to keep 25% himself because he's got to pay for his new house he's building. So he must be confident today that, you know, we'd get involved and see if we can round up a few owners who don't want to take 5 or 10%, but maybe we can set up a syndicate for 2%, and we can all go to the races together and have a bit of fun with Matthew. And there's a lot of our owners there that have had horses with him. They've had a good association, so I'm sure we'll fill up a bit of that horse for him.
Already have, Darren. There's already takers, and for about 5 people have already jumped in. I only sent it out a couple of hours ago, so yeah, there's 2 or 3 more, 4 more slots there if you want to get involved. It's a good way to lessen the cost a little bit. As they say, 1% of the ownership for 100% of the fun, or whatever the old saying is.
Yeah, I don't think Annette and Liz will be too enthralled doing the paperwork and the splitting up the accounts every month is what you know what it's like. So anyway, I'm happy to help. Help is look, we've had a long association. He's been a great friend to ATB, and we look forward to continuing on. But I think that's all I've got, Pete. I must say I really did enjoy doing the interview with Paul Preusker today. I should nearly have a prize for the owner, the first owner. The first owner to email you, Pete, and tell you. I'll tell you what, we'll give a free hat away to the first owner that emails you and says the correct amount of times that Paul lifted the cap off his head and scratched his head.
It was actually the only time we got to see a bit of sunlight on him too, because he was sort of like he was sitting in the dark corner, naughty school kid. But yeah, he did. It was sort of similar fashion to that.
Let's find out. You'll have to count them now to see who's right.
Oh, great! I'll watch it again. 40 minutes of it. Good interview, and I'm sure people will get. You just get to read in a little bit more of the personality of Paul and how he goes about his job.
You can't help but like the guy, and you can't help walking away just thinking, God, I hope he wins the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that, and I think the media have grown on him as well. Like, it's like the fairy tale, and it would be an absolute fairy tale. Because, you know, it hasn't been a smooth road for Paul, and he even mentioned to us that, you know, he took 12 months off to go concreting, and the bloody boss ended up wanting to run a horse, so he had to come back into training. I thought, how funny is that?
All right, well, I'm going to leave it there, Pete. So enjoy the Paul Preusker interview, and until next week, good luck Caulfield Cup Day with your punting. Good luck Geelong Cup Day. It gets serious now. And until next week, I'm Darren Dance with the champion, Peter Morgandi.
And if you can get through
Go
the
Pies.
If you can
Go
get
the Pies, eh? Go to the Pies.
If you can get through Paul's hat manoeuvres, there's a couple of tips there at Horsham somewhere. See you guys.
Cheers. Welcome to ATB TV. I'm Darren Dance here with the Yogi Meister, Mr. Peter Morgandi, and champion Horsham trainer, soon to be Melbourne Cup training winner, we would hope, Paul Preusker. Paul, welcome to ATB TV.
Yeah, afternoon, everyone.
Well, Pete, I'm going to hand over to you for some very tough, insightful questions. Get Mr. Preusker under the pump.
No under the pump questions here. Hey, Paul, just roll back. Obviously, we sort of know a bit of your background. You've always been around animals, horses. That's been your upbringing. I'm just going off a few website stats here. Started training in early 1990. Obviously, a lot's evolved, especially here we are on Zoom, which you wouldn't have heard of in 1990. Now and then, there's been a big difference. Obviously, you're a lot more in the spotlight these days.
Yeah, look, I quite often look back, and I was really lucky trainer when I first kicked off. I think I gathered about half a dozen horses pretty quick, and lucky enough, they were all pretty decent horses. They just went to the races and went boom, 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 and I started off with a little horse called Navajo Brave was my first one, and then I had a horse called Sunset Sammy and Sovereign Court. And, I soon learned out it wasn't as easy as take them to the races and get results. So 12 months in, it got hard. I think at that time I clocked up a dozen winners pretty quick, and people thought I knew what I was doing and give me a go, and then it got terribly tough. But I actually, to be honest with you, I had a bit of a meltdown and threw the toys out of the cot, so to speak, and went concreting for 12 months and cooled me jets, and and then the owner of the concrete company sneakily bought a horse and got me back into horse racing, and here I am today still. So that's and you look back on the journey, and that's you got to be tough to be in this game,
It's funny, I look, I don't know how good the stats are here, but it says over 400 winners and $9 million in prize money. Must be a lot of Mercedes and that parked out there at the stables.
I always spend it unwisely, I reckon, I look at it now, and no, it's been a lot of fun on the way, and what a wonderful game. You just never know here. I reckon there's one sort of one rule I go by. As soon as I think I know it, go back to rule one. There's none. Like that's always you always got to be ready. So and that's what keeps you in the game.
And over to you, Darren.
Righto, Paul. I'm just concentrating here. I've got some concreting here, 17 metres by 17 metres.
Yeah.
150 mil thick. I reckon I can get a good quote off you, can't I?
Yeah. I was smart enough to stay on the wheelbarrow and no commitment. I was stress free.
Well, that's good. I'll just order the truck and you can come and do it for me. Anyway, back to business. I guess the main question I want to start with is I've been up to your complex a couple of times. It's a very big setup there, and a lot of infrastructure and a lot of new infrastructure going on. But it's in Horsham, Paul. Why are you in Horsham? Do you intend to stay in Horsham for the rest of your career? What's your feedback there?
Yeah, I do. I do intend on staying here. Hopefully, I'll eventually get this set up how I want it, which I'm not far off it, and committed to another property sort of this week. So, which will give me everything I need to bring to the table. And the only downfall's travelling. And for me, I think there's a bit you can do there to help horses travel, and when they can count the hours, there's no result anyway. So I've found over my time, I guess from Ballarat, and travelling's travelling, and you just got to prepare your horses, and that's the only downfall to it here. I get great access here at Horsham to the grass. It's a sensational club, and curator, I reckon he's the best in Australia. I'm on it twice a week, and it gets, oddly enough, I only learnt the stats. Horsham's probably one of the most productive country clubs in Victoria. Like we just get good use of the track. I was quite surprised to see other courses don't get anywhere near the use. So really lucky to be here.
I noticed with your track there, you've got a lot of sand around, and I must say, driving to your complex, it took me just under 3 hours, but it's a very smooth, easy drive up that freeway. It's probably an easier drive to go from here to your place than to go from here to Warrnambool, particularly on the horses, because you basically, once you get on the freeway, you're into top gear, and you're only changing down through a couple of those small towns, but it's a pretty good road, so I assume most of your horses will travel pretty well.
Yeah, look, it's, for me to get to Melbourne in particular, that's sort of what you're angling at. And, I know the COVID's on at the moment and makes it a little bit easier, but most times it's sort of, Moonee Valley, Flemington, 3.25 to 3 hours. Won't be long in the bypass. Bypass will be an Ararat. So it's all 110, and in particular going to Adelaide and Murray Bridge now. It's just you know, there's no lights. There's one set of lights at the hills, and you cruise along at your 100, 110, and straight roads. It's actually a pretty good spot just to cater, you know.
You mentioned the Horsham Club, Paul. Obviously, a great relationship there, and you get great access, and there's trials fairly regularly as well. But one of the biggest training tools in your repertoire is the deep sand training. You want to just elaborate there on how you use the sand, and does it suit most horses?
Yeah, look, it's something I've always trained on, heavy sand. You know, here it's, you know, they probably get into it different times of the year. The sand changes on you, you know. As it dries out, it gets a lot tougher. You know, condition them to it's the real key. And most importantly, I've found over the years, I can literally count the amount of the tendons, the knees, the breakdown ratio. Geez, I love it, you know, when I look at the stats now, and it's very minimal, you know. So, but, you know, you get the odd horses that can't adapt to it. So, you know, and that's a lot like the treadmills. You know, some horses can't adapt, so you got to adapt quick and don't keep them on it, you know. Like those horses might, you know, you get the ones that don't like it. They might go on it 2 or 3 days a week. And then on firmer surfaces like up the road and treadmills, and mix it up a bit, you know. But good horses, I've found, love the heavy sand, and they just thrive on work, and they rise to the top, you know.
What's the cut-off there? You got obviously staying types and sprinting types. Would you? The staying type, I gather you could utilise the sand more so than with a sprinting type. Like I am, someone's a horse that a good one of your better sprinters. What's the ratio or balance there between a stayer and someone like, a horse like him on the sand or in the sand?
Yeah, look, it doesn't. I don't think it makes any difference. I don't think it makes any difference. It's just a matter of how many Ks you're doing it, you know. And I've got to bear in mind, I also train out of paddocks, and that's heavy sand as well. So, you know, these guys, those sprinting types, they don't need a lot of work, because the time they're walking around their paddocks as well, yeah, they're doing plenty, you know.
Yep. Back to you, Darren.
Right, Paul, I want to talk about Surprise Baby, the star of the stable, one of probably the best staying horses in the country. Now, it's quite unusual to see a horse only have 3 starts for the whole year, including the grand final in the Melbourne Cup. Where do you have Surprise Baby at now?
Yeah, look, I'm, you know, for me, I had him ready to go 2,500 plus last start, and I wanted to go in like that. You know, the Group 1 2000 are tough on speed sort of type races, which are quite taxing on a horse when you've got him above his threshold anyway. So I thought the run was super. The ride ended up a little bit tricky from the gate, but I thought for me, looking at the sectionals and given the way he was closing, I reckon I got the job pretty right there, you know. So and going forward here, for me, I always planned on having him ready. You know, last year was a bit like flying a plane, and you got to get it off the tarmac and get it to heights and then land it, you know. And I just wanted to go in this year and just land the job, you know. If you can understand that, a lot easier on the horse. Me particularly, I sort of like this style of training. I think history is great looking at it, but going forward, tracks have changed, the way we train horses have changed, and even the vetting of horses, you know, everything's changed. So that hardcore racing, you know, I can see in the next 5 years that'll change. You know, these horses have just got to be mentally switched off, 100% sound, and the old days, it's going to make it harder for you, you know. So going forward, hopefully I've got it right. I feel I do. I think I'm better than last year as far as the horse I'll present on the day, you know.
He's beaten 2.4 lengths in the Turnbull, made up many lengths late, and was probably a bit wide. But he's come through that running perfect order, and you're on track for the big one.
Yeah. Look, everyone here, vets, they're probably more frustrated than anyone because there's no work to do, and when you get to this level, I guess everyone wants a piece of him, and but he's a great sound horse, and you know, like it's really look forward to the day, and I suppose, you know, the one thing I have for this year, you know, he's a unique horse. He's the more pressure you put him under, the more he just melts to it and deals with it, and you always want to see, you know, his strength was the cup crowds, and that pressure can melt a horse. Whereas he just, you know, he's been there and done it and handled it. And, you know, this year it'll be disappointing because it'll be other horses' strength, and you know, that was our strength. So it being quite a cup, it brings them all into it, I guess.
Craig Williams rides him in the cup. He stays on.
Yeah, for sure. It was going to be interesting after the Turnbull to see how Craig thought, and you know, he's committed to the horse and 100% happy with him. So I think Craig had a few questions in his head about the horse, and one was being locked down with nowhere to go, and how he's going to handle everything. So drawing gate 1, I think that ticked all Craig's boxes, and he admitted to me, so I thought that's a good plus going forward.
Well, we know that if Craig gets off a horse and he's not happy, he'll be the first one to run away. So the fact that he's sticking with you is a good thing. I see. I just had a look. He's the horse's second favourite for the Cup at the moment, $8, which, you know, it's pretty short, isn't it? $8 in a Melbourne Cup behind a 3-year-old raider called Tiger Moth with Russian Camelot third at $9. So, you know, that can probably flick around a little bit depending on what happens in the Cox Plate, I guess, with Russian Camelot. But your horse has been short right through the market, and you know, he was super last year, wasn't he? It was just a massive run with, you know, given the ride and where he was in the run, he was just massive late.
Yeah, look, he's you know, and bearing in mind that was his first racing prep, and I guess I sort of got on a bit of venture 2-3 years ago now, and I just said to myself, it's got to be a better way. I know what I want to do. How do I get it? I've just got to try what I know and put a line through what don't work for me. And you know, unfortunately, this year I thought Dark Alley was going forward, not at the same level, but a nice stone horse with no kilometres underneath him as well, and you know, we unfortunately lost him in a fatal accident, and but I was coming with a couple of bullets this year, and the other horse to probably, if I can get him in, he'll go around in the Lexus, is Admire Robson, real nice horse going forward. If I can get him qualified, I really look forward to seeing him in as well, you know.
Say you're lucky enough to win the Melbourne Cup with Surprise Baby. What would your plans be going forward after that?
Think about the next cup real quick.
Yes, fair point.
Look, and he's lightly raced, and originally before all the COVID, I thought there was other options there for him, you know, to go abroad and showcase where he's at in the big stage, really. But this year's a bit tricky for us. So, you know, we'll get the cup down pat, hopefully, and draw a plan up with the owners, and you know, he's lightly raced and sound, so that, you know, there's a good year in him, good couple of seasons in him yet without stress, you know. So all concentration on this year, and hopefully it all pans out right, and horse comes home safe and sound from the cup, and keep them in there. You know, that's my main goal every year from here on. Try and qualify horses, which seems to be really hard. You know, I'm sure there's great stayers here that just don't get the opportunity to get qualified, and it's a bit the trick. So I'm sure once the first Tuesday's ran, and the first thing I'll be thinking about is next year. You know, so hopefully it gets easier as I get smarter.
Well, how'd you get Surprise Baby? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, look, I know Johnny Fattini. Actually bought him off a gravel house, and I was in New Zealand at the time, and he said just pop out and have a look at him and make sure he's worth putting on the plane. And from the day I seen him, seen the way he walked and wind sucked, and the way the horse, in particular, the way he thought, I thought. And then I looked down at his legs, and I thought, this horse is bulletproof. He's the right one for my job, you know. So anyway, yeah, we got him home, and it was a fair job ahead of me. He was, if you wanted to turn left, he'd go right and bump the K's up. You know, he'd bump the speed up on you pretty quick too, and quite often I'd ride him a fair bit early days, and I'd get him right, put the track riders back on him, and last a few days, and they'd say you're back on him, you know. But it was just a slow job, and it come to his first gallop at Horsham. I thought, just give him a breeze up and see what he's got. I was really happy with the horse, and I think his first breeze up ever. He ran home in about 33.2, and I went, but he done it on a lot of fear, and I thought, oh, I rang Johnny. I said, this horse has got a ton of ability, but we've got to put him back in the paddock. So, and we did, and we were rewarded after that. You know, just that's why we didn't start racing him till he was 4. You know, so and great foundations were put in after that. We knew what we had and the problems we had, and we just sort of put a strategy together early days to try and fix that. So anyway, we lucky enough to get it right, you know.
It's a great story, and let's hope on that first Tuesday in November it becomes even better story. Over to you, Pete.
Yeah, patience must be a big thing, Paul, but it must be hard when you think you got something there, you got to slowly put those building blocks together.
Yeah, no, I guess you get better at it each year. You know, I'm very mindful of spending people's money. You know, like I've always had to work hard, and you're mindful of spending people's money, and you sort of, and I think a lot of people are, you know, you get too proactive with getting horses there to the races to show owners what they're doing, but every year it's important that you get it right and look after the horses. And I sort of feel now like it's come at an age and experience to go, trust me, guys, this is how you got to do it. And horse nearly comes out on top most times, which is the important part about this game, you know.
I think we're saying that with the 3 fillies that we have with you, that you've, I think it's probably been 2 sort of intermediate preps and then a solid grounding prep, and you've said now they go to the paddock, and when they come back, it's not D-Day, but it's time for them to show us what we've got, and that's obviously raise the colours, eagles and pins, and Dandy Class.
Yeah, for sure. You know, dealing with them all along, and you watch them grow at different times, and you know, in particular, the first prep, you know, I was Dandy Classic. I just thought, geez, how good's this horse? And, you know, when they're that age, they're going to rise and lose it, and rise again and lose it. You know, and time they all change, you know, watching these babies. But important part about last prep was putting that mental strength into them, good, tough grind and prep. And they all come through it really good. In particular, they come back this next prep and they're such tough horses. They just eat, work, and they do it quite easy, you know. So you see the best out of them after that second, you know, after that good hard prep. Yeah, really look forward to this time. And you know, we'll see them at the jump outs, and they'll put their hand up and tell you whether they're ready to race. And I'm sure this time you're going to see a bit, and we'll all be happy, you know. We'll be patient, and they're given the time to stay sound, and they're the right horses.
Yep. It won't be long and they will be back in work. Just to divert, you mentioned before you ride a lot of your own horses, but a really important, integral part of the business is Holly, your partner, and obviously Holly's been probably 3 years out of the saddle now because of a race day incident at Penshurst. But geez, it must be good to know that you can use Holly as a sounding board. She can jump on horses when they're just about ready to go. Obviously, ride plenty of work. It's a huge asset to have your partner as an integral part of the show.
Yeah, you know, she's sort of she's well rounded in the racing game, and just her general nature is to try the best she can, and she's as tough as she can be, you know. And you know, a lot of people say to me, "This Surprise Baby's the best horse you've got, probably you'll ever see." And probably behind that, I always think the best horse I got is probably Holly. You know, she'll keep running the show, and incredible drive and incredible taste for the game. So, you know, and I'm very, very lucky here. The kids are coming through now, and with the support of the likes of Holly, you know, at the moment there's 3 kids coming through the game here. You know, and with the grinding of Holly and even Christine's not to be forgotten about, just absolute workhorses, and really that they are masters of their trade, you know. So I think we're all lucky to have these quality of workers working for you, the likes of Holly and Christine, you know. I think Christine's been with me from the very first time I decided to start racing horses, and look back and see her get a winner for me, last couple of winners for me, which was really rewarding, because she probably doesn't get the opportunity as the business has grown and become more commercial. The love lost is not there, you know. The loyalty's sort of not been there for her, but I've always thought, you know, she's a master at what she does, and same as Holly. When they like one, I don't say much, but I don't forget.
For those that Christine is obviously the wife of Dean Yendall, for those that are unaware. Darren, back to you, mate.
All right, let's have a look. Apart from Surprise Baby, Paul, in the spring, is there any other horses there that you think? I know you mentioned a couple earlier, but I saw one the other day that you trained called Luna Fox. Was pretty good in the Guineas.
Yeah, love this horse. He's tough, very tough, sound, and you know, I know he's by Fox Wedge, and you tend to lean that he mightn't quite stay, but with what he's shown me, work-wise, constitution and lactate, I'm pretty confident going forward to the Derby, you know. All along I've sort of set him for that. When I first got the horse, you know, Terry's been good over the years, and I remember this horse as a 2-year-old, and Terry thought he was a real Guineas horse as a 2-year-old. Unfortunately, when I got him, maybe the conditions here and a change of environment, I smelt Derby pretty quick, and that's sort of the path we can head to. And I thought a run the other day, coming out of that, he'll go to the Vars, and I'm sure he makes D-Day on the Derby Day, and I really look forward to taking that quality horse to the 2500.
I was dirty on you, Paul. I was
Get
going to
acquitted
back.
by yearling off you.
Sorry, Darren.
Yeah, look, a couple going forward. I really like this Admire Robson, blessed horse. He's been on the comeback trail from an injury. He had 12 months out, but he was pretty unlucky in the Bart Cummins the other day. They're not qualified for the Cup, I reckon, and we're left punching late to go to the Lexus and try and qualify him to get in. But I'm sure he's one of my headaches. He's one of my headaches if he can win the Lexus. He's definitely not going to go away. As much as Surprise Baby's got him here as sparring partners. He's a tough Japanese horse that is staying really committed to the job. He does scare me a little bit, you know.
Because that's a bad thing to have a Quinella in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah. And sort of going forward from there, there's a couple I haven't raced yet that might have a sneaky look in there. A horse like Kaluni, they got a little bit of form overseas, but haven't had a run here in Australia yet. So there's a couple there, but the rest of them probably guys that I'd only be throwing them to the wolves and that dissolving their confidence. So what I've got, I'm probably going to wait till next year and even March, Adelaide, kick them off there, and hopefully there's a couple of good staying horses and concentrate on that Adelaide Cup again,
Pete?
Horsham Cup this weekend, Paul. It's always a big fillip for any trainer, their hometown cup. Now, Holly's won the cup 6 times as a rider. She may have even knocked you off at one stage there with Texan Warney beating you when...
He did.
What was yours?
Geez, you got me there. It was a grey horse. Flame and Mo.
That's it.
Flame and Mo, it was.
But then you consolidated and you won the cup 2 years in a row with a great old horse that you had still going around, Magic Console. So you formed a partnership and won it twice. Now you mentioned Admire Robson. Does he run Sunday in the cup?
No. I've got Admire Winner.
Winner. Yep.
Yeah, look, nice Japanese horse that'll sit up hard on the pace, and it takes some shaking off. But for me, 62 kilos is going to probably toll on him. It'll be great. It'd be great to see. I think Andre Magneto. He'd be probably one of the ones to beat. I couldn't really get him going here, and I thought it was a good move. Let's send him to Adelaide. Bring him back. I'll win the Horsham Cup with him, but he won't go around in my name, guys. But he'll probably be there. But and the other horse, Poets Landing. Probably just a run off, and with his ratings, he's probably not well. There's nothing easy for him this time of the year. He's probably more a Sonata Cup type horse.
Yeah. That's 2 runners. You had 14 acceptors there. There's 4 or 5 first starters. It's nearly Christmas time. We're all struggling for a few dollars. There's got to be something there that the Preusker camp will like.
Yeah, look, the first starters, there's some nice horses there. The filly by Seamus Award, nice horse. The only thing I'd say, guys, this COVID's been really hard on me. I'm only allowed to go to Horsham and nowhere else. So these guys probably haven't been hard schooled like I normally would cart them around and expose them trial. But certainly the filly by Seamus Award, nice horse. She's in the 3-year-old race. Look, there's a horse going really well. He come to me down from Queensland last time, and probably he was a little bit hard on him last prep, and we didn't see the best of him. But in a benchmark 7, there's a little horse indispensable there. Going to be pretty hard to shake out. I'm sure he'd be hanging, he'd be punching right hard. He's going to be hard enough to beat. Benchmark 64. The benchmark 64 over 1800. Bruno's a star. Kicked around at Geelong. He's a new horse to me. He kicked around at Geelong in like a 4 and 5 horse race. And I particularly went out there to teach him some racing manners. He used to over race pretty bad in New Zealand. And my styles just dropped a bit, settle and enjoy racing. So he relaxed really, really well in a slow run race. And really couldn't quick him. But I can probably see this horse has been a sparring partner for Luna Fox, and he's got plenty of good galloping in this horse. I can see the 1800, the pace will be on. He'll get a nice run and take a tough run from home. He'll be right in it. But other than that, I haven't. If I could win a couple of races, I'd be doing really good. And, maybe get lucky in the cup. The cup's sort of. I'm just praying. I might have to do a few prayers, which I haven't done since I was 3 or 4. So I don't know if he's going to remember me,
We'll leave it there, Paul. Darren, you've got about 3 minutes to wrap it up, but I'll let you fly.
Well, Paul, look, really appreciate you coming on today. Really good interview and very insightful for us. I'm sorry that Pete put you under so much pressure looking for a winner. I'd never do something like that. All the very best, mate, for the carnival. You've come a long way. You've done a great job with your horses up at Horsham. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand. You're a massive worker, and you deserve all the success you and Holly get. I think you're going to play a big part in the carnival. I think you're going to the name Preusker is going to be up in lights, and I think post Flemington, you're probably going to need another 40 or 50 boxes up there for all the people wanting to send you horses, because being a farmer, you'd know when one sheep runs to the dam, they all run to the dam. So get ready. You're going to be feeling right up, buddy, and you deserve it. Totally.
No, thanks, guys, and I just love being involved with you two guys. It's been just been lovely to operate with guys that understand horses and want to look after their owners. So really appreciate what opportunities I do get, and thoroughly enjoy doing it this way. So look forward to getting you winners, guys.
Brilliant. Thanks, Paul.
And I've told everybody, with all your multis, just take Surprise Baby 1 out. Don't worry about the rest. Surprise Baby's the anchor for the big multis. All the best,
Let's
mate.
hope,
Cheers.
mate. Thank you. Bye.